Hi everyone, welcome to a new vlog. I hope you've all had a lovely Christmas and a great new year. So the last time that I caught up with you was when I was just finishing off my last video where we were in Paris at Christmas time. So if you'd like to watch that, if you haven't already, I'll leave it linked in the eye. Our new year was pretty quiet this year. James was actually working, he was playing at a gig. So I went obviously to go and watch him playing things so that we were together at the Bells, and then we had a pretty quiet rest of the night, like after the Bells, and a pretty quiet New Year's Day as well. So we, just cooked a nice meal and just basically spent the day inside nice and cozy and things like that. So yes, we've had a pretty quiet new year. So I thought I would pick up the camera again and start vlogging again for the new year. So yesterday we actually went out to meet up with my dad and my stepmom, went out for some food and things and a couple of drinks. And then last night we went to go and see a new movie at the cinema. This one was called Heretic, and it's one I wasn't quite sure what it was about when we actually went to go and see it, but it's got Hugh Grant in it, and it's kind of like basically he lives on his own, and two girls that I think are Mormons come to like his door to try and sort of talk to him about their church and things. And I think it's one of those films that's meant to have like a kind of underlying message behind it. And so yeah, it wasn't quite what I was it was kind of what I was expecting, because usually those kind of films are like you're kind of left at the end thinking, what was that actually about? But I quite enjoyed it, but I think a lot of people in the cinema, I don't think they thought they knew what it was about. I think a lot of people in the cinema thought it was going to be a horror. So yeah, so anyway, so we went to go and see that last night, and so yeah, so now we're coming into the first weekend of the new year. I'll probably going to be doing quite a lot of work this weekend to try and get a little bit caught up in things. Obviously not doing as much over the Christmas period and the New Year period. So yeah, so I thought I would just pick up the camera again, start vlogging, and just kind of take you along on what I got up to over the next couple of days. Wee tail draped over your leg. Hi again. So it's later on in the same day. I'm actually just about to sit down and have something to eat before doing some more work. James is actually currently away out for his gigs tonight, so he's actually working quite a few hours in a row, so I've got a good run at doing quite a bit of work. So what I wanted to talk about in this vlog was a bit of a combination of things. So obviously, because it's the new year, it's the time of year everyone's making goals and talking about what they're hoping to achieve this year. So I was kind of wanting to share some of the goals that I've got for my business, because I think I mentioned before, pretty sure I have, that I do have an online business, and I've got lots of different sections to my online business. So I kind of wanted to share some of the goals that I was kind of hoping to work towards this year, as well as some things like travel goals that James and I have, as well as goals for around our flat that we've just moved into, and as well as a couple of other little ones like to do with reading and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I was going to share within this vlog. everyone. So it's a couple of days later since I last caught up with you. I know we've still got our Christmas decorations up, even though we're into January now. We haven't quite gotten around to taking them down. I think usually I like taking them down kind of sort of more closer to the middle of January. I don't rush to take them down because I actually quite like having our Christmas tree up, and it gives off a nice light and everything in the living room, and I know that if we were to take it down too early I would really miss it. So yeah, so I think we'll be keeping it up for another few days. So what I wanted to share with you just now was some of my sort of goals and things that I kind of wanted to achieve in the new year. And obviously we've got Chester visiting us. So yes, I kind of thought I would talk through my different goals, different things that I wanted to achieve in my sort of more personal life, but also related to my online business and things. So the first couple of goals that I'm going to kind of talk about are more sort of travel goals. So James and I, we quite like traveling, we quite like visiting different places, visiting new places. So one of the things that I've put it as a goal, but we have already kind of arranged it and booked it for, we did sort of book it at the end of last year, and that is to go on a cruise. So I've been on a couple of cruises before. James had never been on a cruise, but we really wanted to try one out together, and so we have booked a cruise for the middle of the year. So that is one of our goals that we should hopefully achieve this year, is to go on a cruise together. And obviously on a cruise you get to visit lots of different places, which I really like, because it means you can get a little taster of different places, and if you want to go back to any of those places on like a longer holiday, it means that you kind of know what to expect. So another travel goal that we have for this year, I think it's quite ambitious though, but we've still kind of sort of got it in our heads of potentially doing it, is to try and go and visit America. So we were thinking of maybe potentially going to visit Boston. That seems to be the place that we're kind of drawn to go and visit. That won't obviously be till the end of next year, but that's one of our other goals for one of our travel goals for the year. So the next few goals that I'm going to talk about are all related to my online business. So I've kind of got different goals for different parts of my online business. So I've kind of mentioned it a little bits about it in the past. So as part of my online business, I've actually got 3 different areas. So I've got the part of my business where I create and sell teaching resources, but I'll also have a YouTube channel where I make baby sensory videos as well, which is kind of is going to be another part of my business. And then I do sort of class this vlogging channel as part of my business as well. So Chester's like just scratching himself right next to the camera. That's why it's vibrating. Come on, you're gonna have to come down with me, I think. There we go. So one of my first goals that I wanted to talk about for my business was obviously to do with my teaching resources. So one of the things that I really wanted to achieve this year, and I kind of started at the end of last year, was to try and sell physical versions of my resources that I create. So just now a lot of it is sold online digitally. It's it's something that you download, so it's not a physical thing. But I want to try and start selling it as a physical thing. So I'll just show just now, like I've actually got some of my resources that I managed to make into a book. So this is just something that I did at the end of last year, just to kind of test it out, just kind of see what the process was like, if I was happy with the quality of the book and everything. And this is basically just sent in to write in worksheets for kids. So this was actually done on Amazon. So on Amazon KDP. So if you create, something that's printable, you can actually make it into a book, and the process was actually really easy. So I'm definitely going to be making more of those next year. So that's one of my goals for next year for my business. The next goal that I thought about doing was trying to sell my resources on more platforms. So right now I only sell on one platform, but I want to expand and try and sell in a lot of different places, because the way I see it is I've already done the hard work, I've already made the resource, I've already made the product, I've done all the hard bits. And so why not? Why can't I sort of sell them on different platforms in different places, and hopefully increase the chance of more people seeing them? So that's my second goal for my business. My third goal is related to my baby sensory channel. So at the moment I'm kind of growing that channel quite steadily, so my aim for that channel is to get it to the point of where it's monetized on YouTube, so that it gets, you know, generates some sort of income from ads and things. So that's my goal for that part of my business. And then for the vlogging channel at the moment, that is more of a, I suppose, more of a hobby. I do class it as part of my business because I do feel like it all like comes under the same kind of umbrella, but obviously right now I'm not really making any money from the vlogging side of it. It's more of a sort of a hobby, but with the aim for it to maybe be part of my business in the future. So at the moment my aim for my vlogging channel is to make sure that I try and upload 1 video per week, so it's quite manageable, something that I can hopefully easily achieve in the year as well. So the next couple of goals that I'm going to talk about is related to our flat that we've moved into, so things to do with like home renovations, decorating and things like that. So a couple of things that we want to do, it's more about, I suppose, styling areas up rather than big sort of decorating goals. So definitely want to try and get the hall styled up. So it has been painted and things. Right now it's obviously got all the Christmas decor and stuff in it, so I kind of thought I'll wait till the new year and then decide what we want to do with the hall. So definitely putting up things like more artwork, photographs, and maybe styling up the bench that we've got in our hall. So yeah, I'll definitely show you like what we end up doing with that when we come around to doing that. And then the other couple of things, I think it's more basically just filling the space. So in the living room, so right behind me here is our bay window, and that is actually where our Christmas tree is just now. But we were thinking of potentially getting a little like bistro set, but as in like a little tiny coffee table and maybe 2 sort of small armchairs, because like the window space is quite big and it's 3 big windows that's behind me. So I'll show you in a little second the space. I'll just actually show you just now. So as you can see in our living room, we've got 3 big windows as part of our bay window. The Christmas tree is kind of blocking it just now, but it's actually quite a big space. So I do feel like if we were to get a really small like kind of coffee table and then get 2 small-ish sort of armchairs, even if it's 1 armchair and like 1 coffee table, we can see why we go with the space. I actually think that would be such a nice little space, and we could always move the TV a little bit further up as well as the couch, because this is where the couch is just now. So we could move the couch a little bit further up just so we've got a bit more space at the end. And then I just think it'd be so nice to sit in that window, especially in the summer, because we get a lot of sunlight in the front of the flat during the day, and open the windows and just sit and like, you know, have a bit of fresh air, sunlight. I just think it'd be a really nice spot to sit and look outside, especially when it's, you know, when it's nicer, brighter weather. So that's the plan for sort of, you know, adding a bit more to our living room. And then the third goal, which is related to house renovation stuff, is in our kitchen. So in our kitchen just now, it's quite it's been decorated and things like that, but it is quite a big kitchen and I feel like it's lacking something. So I think our plan is that we're going to get one of those one of those movable islands. So in the future we are planning on completely redoing the kitchen, so this is why it's almost like a bit of a temporary thing, but we might end up keeping the island actually. But so the plan is to get like a movable island with some storage underneath, and hopefully one that's got, you know, one side where you can put some stools so that you can actually sit at it, but then it could also be used as a worktop space and it's a bit of storage. So, and then basically just kind of get the kitchen finished, getting styled up as well. So yeah, so that's our 3 kind of goals for related to, you know, home renovation stuff. So the next goal that I kind of want to talk about was more of a personal one. So that's to do with reading more. So when I was younger, when I was like a teenager, or like when I was a child, I used to go to the library once every 2 weeks, and I used to get out 10 books because that was like the maximum that you could get out of the library. And I used to max out my card every single fortnight, get 10 books out, and I used to read 10 books in a fortnight. Even when I was a teenager and I was reading, you know, longer books and things like that, that is kind of how much I used to read when I was younger. And I think it's just as, you know, you get older, you get busier and things like that, and you just don't have the time. And it's something that I do miss quite a lot, because I used to love reading so much. So this year, one of my sort of personal goals is I want to get back into reading a bit more. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to be reading, you know, 10 books in a fortnight like what I used to do when I was younger, but I definitely want to be consistently reading, even if it is just at a slower pace. So that's kind of why I've been kind of trying out different books. And I feel like for me, I'm quite picky when it comes to books. So if I'm not, you know, gripped by the cover or gripped by the description on the back or anything like that, I won't read it. And if I start reading something and I don't enjoy it, I almost feel like I've wasted quite a bit of my time, and I don't like doing that. So I'm quite picky when it comes to finding a book that I'll stick with. So what my kind of strategy is just now is that I'm deliberately picking books that have either been made into a movie or made into, I just think he just wants to be involved in front of the camera, have been made into a movie or have been made into a TV series, and especially if it's one that I've watched or I've watched bits of it and I've enjoyed it. And obviously I know that it kind of gives away the story, but a lot of the time the way that they adapt the book into a movie or a TV series is actually different. So yeah, so basically I've deliberately picked books that were, you know, that I've read or seen them before. So for example, I really enjoyed reading Martian, because that's been made into a movie. I loved that one, thought that was great. The one that I've just kind of finished recently, or not too long ago, was Big Little Lies. Again, loved that series, so yeah, really enjoyed the book as well. I've actually got here the book that I've just finished, which was one called Nerve. So not long I finished this one. This one has been made into a movie. I have to say though, the movie was better. So this one is about, I think I did mention it in one of my vlogs before, so it's about like a game or an app. Well, in the book it's a game, but on the film it's kind of like an app slash game where people have to complete dares like on camera, and they kind of win prizes and things like that. And then, you know, the dares get worse and worse as it goes along. And so it's kind of like a mixture of, like, I suppose, like social media mixed in with this game. And yeah, so the book, well, the movie was really good. I would definitely recommend watching it, because I've watched it a couple of times actually and really enjoyed it. However, the book, I didn't enjoy it as much. Like, wasn't exactly the same as the story. It was very similar to the story, but the dares were very different. The way it ended was very different. I felt like in the movie they made a better job of making the end quite dramatic, whereas the book didn't really quite capture that. I didn't feel like it wasn't as like shocking. So yeah, so I definitely preferred the movie to the book, but it was still worth a read. And you know, it's not a very thick book, so I've got through it quite quickly. So yeah, so I've not for long finished reading that. So the next one that I'm moving on to, I haven't started it yet, is the book called Leave the World Behind. And this has also been made into a movie that's on Netflix. I'm sure it's got Julia Roberts in it. And basically the movie, anyway, I think it's the same for the book. The movie is a family are going out to a cabin, or you know, somewhere out in the middle of nowhere for a holiday, and then all of a sudden all communications with you know, their phones, the internet, everything just goes black, like just gets cut off, and they start thinking to themselves, was it just us? But then other people end up coming. I think the previous owners of the cabin come to the cabin and are like saying something's going on, something's wrong, and the whole thing is that nobody knows anything, because there's no communication, there's no phones working, there's no internet working, no TV, absolutely nothing. So everyone is in the dark, and it's just the story of kind of what happens. And there's obviously a reason for it, but so it'll be interesting to see if the book answers more questions than the movie because I remember watching the movie, and obviously I don't want to give it away or anything, but the ending is a little bit frustrating. So I don't know if we'll learn more with it being the book, if the ending will be the same, if it'll be different. So yeah, so if you've seen the movie, definitely, you know, recommend maybe reading the book as well, just to see if it's different. And if you haven't seen the movie, it's well worth a watch. So the plan for the rest of my day is, so it's actually Saturday today. So to be honest, I've had quite a bit of a lazy day earlier on for the day. Woke up not feeling great. So you'll probably have seen in our clips that we actually ordered an Indian to try and like clear out like any stuffiness and things like that. And so we ordered spicy food to try and help. And I have to say I do feel a little bit better, but Chester's like shaking my camera again because he's scratching himself right next to the camera. There we go, stop there. So yeah, so that has helped a little bit. So yeah, so James is going to be heading out in a little bit to his gig tonight. I'll probably be sitting doing some more work. So yeah, so and the rest of the night we'll probably watch when James gets back. We started watching last night the new series on the TV called Lockerbie. So it's the one with Colin Firth in it, and it's the one that it's like a dramatisation, it's not like a documentary or anything. And so far it's about the story of him, I'm assuming, trying to find out what happened because his daughter died on the plane crash. And so it's the story of that. So we only watched the first episode last night, but it's really good. It's only got 5 episodes, so it'll be really easy to kind of binge through that. So I think the plan is to watch that tonight. And yeah, we've actually been really into watching like, obviously fictional, but like disaster / end of the world kind of movies recently, just over the Christmas period. So we've been watching like The Day After Tomorrow, 2012. We watched World War Z, which is more of a zombie one, but still kind of end of the world. And we also watched Everest, which is more like a natural, I suppose, not a disaster, but natural kind of action movie, which I didn't realise was based on true events. So it's got Jake Gyllenhaal in it, and I can't remember who else is in it. A few other people that, a few other quite famous actors in it, and that was really good. So watched that. So yeah, we've been on a very much of a natural disaster, end of the world kind of movie kind of streak. And we also watched Greenland as well. I think I've seen that movie about 5 times. It's got Gerard Butler in it, and it's on Prime. Oh, it's so good. It's such a great disaster movie, and it's very tense through it. I just love it. It's so good. So yeah, so next year actually it kind of brings me on to like movies and things that I'm looking forward to next year, which kind of follow the kind of end of the world theme. So we are very much looking forward to watching the new series of Last of Us. So watched it last year, absolutely loved it. James has played the game, the first and the second game, a couple of times now, and it's one of those games that I could actually sit and watch and play because it sort of follows a storyline. So love the first season. If you haven't watched it, it's so good. And one of the episodes actually, I can't remember what episode it is, I think it's like episode 3 or 4, and it's the one about one of the characters who's not one of the main characters, he's like a side kind of character, but it's a story of him and his partner, and it's such a good story, and it was just such good acting. And even though it's not a main, I suppose, part of like the season, like of what goes on in the series, it's almost like a side story. It was like one of the best episodes of anything that I've ever watched. It was so good. I'm pretty sure it won awards actually. But yeah, the actual season itself, it's about it's more of like a zombie type season. So it's about people get infected with this like fungus, and it kind of turns them into zombies basically. So it's like kind of like a zombie horror type program, but it's amazing. So the second season, we thought it was going to come out at the beginning of the year, like round about now, like January, because that's when the season 1 came out last year, but we're now hearing it's not going to be till spring, so it's going to be a little while yet. So yeah, so really looking forward to the new season of that when it does come out. And then movie wise, so I've been seeing trailers for the next season, the next movie in this sort of 28 Days Later kind of series. So obviously there's 28 days later, 28 weeks later, so this is 28 years later. So again, I'm not sure when it's meant to come out. I don't know if there's a release date or not yet, but I have seen a couple of trailers for it, and it looks great. It looks really scary, but it looks great. And there has been like little rumours of online, I don't know if this is true or not, but there's been like little clips from the movie, and supposedly in one of the clips people think it shows Cillian Murphy, who was in the first one, as a zombie. But I don't know if that's just, obviously like hype to try and get people to watch it and things like that. But yeah, so quite excited to see when that comes out. I think it's been quite a while since the second one. I can't remember when the second one came out, 28 weeks later. But that's one of those kind of zombie movies that are, I don't know why, but I find those ones really quite scary because they're they're a bit more sort of violent and a bit more almost realistic. If you're not a big zombie fan, then it's maybe, zombies are zombies, but like me, James, and quite a few people I know are very much into our like zombie movies, zombie TV series and things like that. And there's a big difference between like zombies that walk, like The Walking Dead, the slow ones, and the ones that run. And So I find 28 days later, those are the ones that run, those are the fast ones that are a bit scarier. Even in The Last of Us, the zombies run, and that one they're a bit faster, so it's a bit more, it's a bit more scary. So yeah, so I'm quite excited to see that movie when it comes out as well. Yeah. So as I said, I think the plan is for the rest of today, or tonight should I say, even though it's not that late, it's just dark outside because it's obviously winter. Is to do a little bit more work later on. I think I'm going to sort of chill out a little bit just now, just because I'm still feeling a little bit under the weather. My plan today was actually to film the next video. So I've been filming some videos for my my email, the people that have joined my email list to do with my teaching resources. So I've been filming a series of videos to kind of go along with some of my blog posts with like different tips on teaching, writing and things. So I filmed 2 of the videos so far, and I still need to film the 3rd one. And so I was going to do that today, but to be honest, I don't know if I've got the energy, because it's not like this where I can just sit and yap. It's a bit more, I have to make sure I'm sort of obviously talking about certain points if I'm giving like activity ideas and tips and things. So I'm thinking I might do that tomorrow if I'm feeling better. And today, instead, I'm going to just do some work on my computer, because that's a little bit, a bit not as, intense and things. So yeah, so that's the plan for the rest of tonight. Hi again, so it's a little bit later on. I've just dropped off James at his gig for tonight. So I'll be home for a few hours. I was planning on doing a little bit of work while he's out gigging. So I'm actually going to jump in the shower really quick and just have a nice kind of hot shower, because I think that will really help me feel a bit better, feel a bit less stuffed up and things. And then I'm in 2 minds about whether to make myself a cup of tea. So I love having tea normally, but I always feel like when I've got a cold, when I have a cup of tea, it kind of makes it worse afterwards. Like it makes my throat drier, it makes my mouth drier and things like that. So I think I might have, I'm pretty sure I've got some lemon and ginger tea. So I think I might have that, and hopefully that'll be a bit better than just having normal tea. So yeah, so I'm gonna jump in the shower, have a cup of tea, and then hopefully work on some of my online business stuff. So I was planning originally on doing some filming, as I said, for one of my videos that I was going to do for my email list, but I think I'm going to do that tomorrow because I'm just not feeling up for it tonight. So I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm actually going to work on my next workbook for print, like published workbook for Amazon. So I showed you earlier my sentence writing one that I'd made. So I think I'm going to go ahead and make like a spring themed one with some spring activities and things for teachers, for parents, so like a mixture of like math stuff, literacy stuff and things. So yeah, so I'm quite excited to do that. So I think I'll sit and do that, because that's just basically a computer job. It's not one where I have to be in front of a camera or anything. So yeah, so that's my plan for the next kind of few hours. Then I'm going to go and pick up James from his gig. Again, so it's the start of a new day. So the last time that I spoke to you, I was doing a little bit of work before going to pick up James from his gig last night. So so it's Sunday today. So today's pretty much just a bit of like a housework day. So I've just put on a load of washing, and I'm just going to do a few things like cleaning out Chester's litter tray, emptying the bins, all those kind of not so nice jobs that I kind of do at the weekend. Just to get the house all nice and like ready for the new week and things. So I'm just about to go and do that, and then today, I think I mentioned yesterday I wasn't feeling great, so I was meant to be filming a video for, like, as part of my business for my email subscribers, but I think I was going to do that today, but I'm still not feeling 100%, so it's more my throat. Like, I'm actually worried that I might start coughing halfway through the video and have to keep stopping and, like, you know, have to edit lots of bits out. So I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to have a little look at what I've got planned next week for my work, and then I think I'm going to try and take a few things from there and do that today instead of filming the video, so that I'm not losing any time, because I feel okay. I don't feel not well enough to actually do any work, but just not quite camera well enough, if you know what I mean. So that's the plan for later on today. James has also got a gig later on, so I'll probably be taking him to that, and then apart from that, I think we're going to have a pretty quiet Sunday. So the weather outside, as you could probably see from the window, is pretty gross. Like, it's only just after 3 o'clock and it's already very, like, dark and dingy and just not very nice looking. It's actually been like that all day, so I think the rest of the week it is meant to brighten up, so hopefully it'll be a bit sunnier. So yeah, so that's my plan for today. Anyone else like me and can only have grapes that have been in the fridge? So I'm just making myself something very quick for lunch. So I'm going to have some grapes, some yogurt, and maybe a couple of other bits. But yeah, I got these grapes, I'll just flip you around so you could see, from Waitrose. So it's actually 3 different kinds of grapes. The one got green, red and black grapes. And they couldn't fit in our fridge for a little while because we had food in there from for New Year's Day, so I had to leave them out. And I know they're fine that you can leave them out, you know, like at room temperature, but there's something about warm grapes that I just don't like. I have to have them in the fridge. So it's a little bit later on now. I've just come back from dropping James off at his gig for tonight. So last time I checked in with you, I was having something to eat, so I think I'm just going to try and figure out what little things I can work on tonight for my business, and probably sit and chill, maybe watch a vlog. And some of the people that I watch on YouTube have put up new vlogs and things for the new year, so I'll probably sit and watch a couple of those and just have a bit of a quiet, chilled out Sunday night before starting back at work and things tomorrow. So tomorrow's Monday, which means everything's all back to normal tomorrow, so that means my tutoring's back on. Most people, I'm assuming, will be back at work if they're not back already, so back to reality tomorrow. So yes, I kind of thought I would just round off the vlog here. So if you've enjoyed joining me for the last couple of days over the weekend, make sure and subscribe so that you don't miss the next one, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!